Hey, what is up, you guys? So, today I'm going to be sharing with you my just amazing transformational experience at Unleash the Power Within this past week in San Jose. So, before we get started, just a quick reminder, I am giving away a free copy of Money Master the Game, a recent book from Tony Robbins. I read it a few months back, and it really helped me answer a lot of questions that I have about money and investing. You know, investing is something that I've always been kind of afraid of, and just like, I don't really know how to get started with this. So this book is like just jam-packed, almost 600 pages of just really great actionable information. And because of this book, I finally got some shit in gear, and I'm starting to, build that long-term future that I'm really interested in. So the reality is, to tell you everything about Unleash the Power Within would, no joke, at minimum take me at least 3 hours. Just 2 of the days of Unleash the Power alone, just 2 of those days were over 17 hours, and that's with 1 break. So basically, at its core, Unleash the Power Within was about bringing out this inner self, this energy that is inside all of us. And it all comes down to getting into the peak state, getting into your peak state, so that no matter what problems come into your life, no matter what fears you have, no matter what crazy obstacles you are facing, you can just quickly navigate right through them. So from the outside looking in, Tony Robbins and his seminars, it seems like, oh, he's just this motivational speaker. It's just all about think positive and have positive, happy thoughts and do positive things. But it's much more than that. It's much more than just thinking a certain way. It's about being a certain way. And so day 1 was where we started to get introduced to, why do we do what we do? What causes us to live a certain way? What causes us to talk a certain way? What causes us to do these things that are keeping us from our goals, keeping us from taking action? And it all just, it comes down to fear. That is the primary factor of why we don't do the things, why we don't take action, why we don't try and build this better life. And whether it's with your business or your personal life, it comes down to fear. And really, it's what you focus on. Focus equals feeling. So if you focus on the negative all the time and you focus on the bad shit that's going to happen, you're going to get more bad shit. It's just what you focus on is what you get. So to get into this peak state is a combination of things. 1, it's what you focus on. Again, focus equals feeling, energy, motion. And the second thing is your physiology, your physical state. It's not enough to just think a certain way. You also have to physically be a certain way. And then the third thing is the language you use, the meaning you give things. And so when you combine all these 3 things and you get yourself into that peak state, it doesn't really matter what problems you're facing, what things you're dealing with. You're at this much more calm and relaxed and confident position, so you can just, again, quickly navigate through them. So, and also on day 1, we got introduced a little bit, we got a little taste of the conditioning aspect. So the big thing, and it's really hard for me to explain in words, like I can tell you all the knowledge that I learned, but for you to really understand what I'm talking about when it comes to conditioning, this is something you have to experience yourself. And so this was complete full immersion. And so with the conditioning, the first couple hours, I was like, this is weird as fuck. I don't know if this is something I want to do. Like I'm talking just some of the most, this conference, Unleash the Power Within, was the most uncomfortable, the most physically demanding thing I have ever done in my entire fucking life. And I don't just say that just to say that. I absolutely mean it. It was just very uncomfortable. But, you know, I got there, I was there, I was like, you know what? This is fucking weird, but I'm going to fully commit. I'm here, we're just gonna do this, we're gonna blast through it. And so I just kept at it. And I'm talking like crazy things like, so on day 2, we got more into this, and then day 3 and day 4, we continued this, but there's a lot of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and also neuro-associative conditioning. And so NLP by itself is already pretty fucking weird, but the problem is with NLP is you can help rewrite some of the programming that we've been just trained. You can change that. You can change the software, but if you don't change the physical condition, the physical state, that changing in your thinking, it's not enough. So eventually you'll reach some sort of just place where you fall back into your old patterns. So so that stuff there was just really weird, and I'm talking like screaming at the top of your lungs and just celebrating, just having, just dancing your ass off. And Unleash the Power Within is like the best fucking club dance experience of all time. Like, before I went into this, I was terrified of dancing. I was so afraid of what people would think about me, what they would say, and the looks on their face. But now I don't give a fuck. I just dance wherever, whenever, and it doesn't affect me anymore. So day 1 was where we started to get introduced to some of the things of why we do what we do, what causes us to not take action, and we got a taste of that, of the conditioning aspect, the full immersion aspect that you can only get and you can only understand by attending Unleash the Power Within. And at the end of the day, by the way, we got started at around 8:30 a.m. We didn't finish until 1:30 in the fucking morning. We had like a half hour, 45-minute break, the entire day. And around 1 o'clock in the morning, we walked on fucking hot coals. And really, it was effortless. It was very easy, a very easy thing to do. And most people did it because we started to break down some of these fears, and we turn these problems that we have, what we call problems, into these just giant mountains. And so the fire walk was just a metaphor for life, that yes, you have all these problems, but you're making too big of a deal out of them. It's actually not that big of a deal. And so that's what it was. It was a metaphor for that and for life. And we just fully committed and just walked on hot coals. And it was awesome. You know, there's a few people in front of me, and so the one guy, you know, right in the very front was just about to go, and they're like, oh, wait a second, just to like up the intimidation factor. And this guy just rolls up next to the hot coals with this just fresh wheelbarrow full of just these fucking glowing red and orange coals, and other guy just shovels them down, puts it down, pats it down, and then the team members were just like, okay, go, and people went. And it was just this very transformational thing. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter what's going on. Whatever problems stand in front of my way, I will absolutely fucking destroy. I will absolutely get through them. And we just got this level of certainty that we've never experienced before. And we just celebrated our asses off. And that was just day fucking 1. Day 1, like, alone just blew my mind. In total, like, my mind was blown like 500 times. And it just kept stacking and stacking and stacking. And then, so on day 2, we really got into more of the conditioning. So using these advanced NLP tactics and neuroassociative conditioning, just physically getting our body into that peak state and basically conditioning ourselves to instantly change into that peak state. Whether something comes across your radar, like you get the worst news ever, or you lose your job or whatever, and you start to feel yourself just just dip down and get depressed, just instantly, just changing into that peak state so you can just move right through it. And so on day 2 was also where we got down to what is it we really want, and many other principles. Again, it would take me several hours just to cover everything we talked about. But what is it that you have been saying, and what stuff have you been telling yourself? And we just sat down and really attacked what it is we really want. What is it we love? What are we passionate about? And what are the things that we will do from here on out? What will we do after Unleash the Power Within? To what goals do we have that we will tackle and accomplish after this experience? And for me, it was very simple. So I had 2 big goals. So to give you a little backstory, like going in to Unleash the Power Within, like I was very focused on a few different things that I wanted to change. Number 1 is I wanted to be more confident in myself and my abilities. And the second thing is I wanted to put a stop, but maybe not necessarily put a stop, but help control these negative spirals I would have. I would just, just the littlest thing would cause me to just start panicking and get anxiety and freak out. And then the other thing was how, figuring out how I can take better action to live this fun, awesome life that I was trying to live and that I want to live. And really make an impact to myself and the people around me. So that's where I was at coming in, what I wanted to focus on. And so coming out of this, coming out of day 2, my goals were very clear. I want, and not just I want, I am going to make $100,000 in the next 12 months. And also I'm going to become much more physically fit. I'm going to tone up. So if you're not familiar with my story, like back in back in the beginning of 2011, I weighed almost 320 pounds. I weighed 316 pounds, and today I'm around 215 pounds. So I've lost around 100 pounds. But attending this, it helped me realize that I've been bullshitting myself this whole time. I've been allowing me losing 100 pounds as an excuse to be comfortable, to just stay where I currently was. And I realized that I want to feel even better. And that's really losing weight helped me do, is to feel better and give me more energy to do the things I want. And I've finally come to the place where I love myself. Like I enjoy myself. I'm fucking awesome. And I want to have more of this just great feeling, this great energy, and I know for a fact that I can better get there if I just tackle my fitness and my diet more head on, and late at night, not like fucking cheating and eating some chocolate or eating all this amazing cheese and all of these things. So I want to get more of that energy. I want to have more of that energy. And so, day 2 wrapped up. Again, just all of these mind-blowing experiences, screaming at the top of our lungs, celebrating and dancing like we've never celebrated before. And one of the things echoed throughout all this is you don't have to have a fucking reason to celebrate. You can celebrate anywhere, anytime. So day 3, interestingly enough, was called Transformation Day, which when they sent out the text, today is Transformation Day, be in the convention center at blah, 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 we'll be getting started this time. I was like, what the fuck? Day 3 is Transformation Day? I was like, I thought that was like day 1 and day 2. But day 3 was mainly focused on figuring out what is the story we're telling ourselves now. What are the negative beliefs that we have? And what are the new beliefs that we will instill inside of us and we will live by? So it was the most emotionally just taxing, very, we just broke ourselves down emotionally to the deepest, darkest fucking levels. Just bringing out the darkest demons that are just inside of us, and just facing this despair, this just, it's hard to explain, just facing this thing we don't want, just head on, and just being in that state, and just, feeling it, and just through all of this NLP and this conditioning, just getting to that state, and then going down to the deepest, darkest levels. And I haven't been there since I was 15, and I was suicidal and went into the psych ward. It was there was just screaming and crying and just completely breaking ourselves down. But then once we reached the just absolute bottom, just building ourselves back up to this peak state. And over the course, and continuing through the entire Unleash Power Within, just this continuous breaking ourselves down and bringing ourselves back up, and training ourselves to want to be in this peak state, and never, ever, ever wanting to go back to this previous state, to this previous life, because we now know and fully understand, not just in our mind, but in our body, in our soul, how much better it is to live this different way, to live this changed way. So my 3 limiting beliefs that I had was: 1, I'm not good enough; 2, I don't deserve to be happy; and 3, 3, what was 3? That's the funny thing of this, like, it's hard to even remember, like, some of the previous things that number 3 was, I can't do this. And so what was interesting is, as I went deeper into it, I realized that my other limiting beliefs, my second and third limiting belief, were directly connected to the first one. So I don't deserve to be happy because I'm not good enough. I can't do this because I'm not good enough. And from figuring this out and breaking ourselves down and bringing ourselves back up and then instilling these new beliefs, my new beliefs are: I'm fucking amazing, I deserve to be happy, and I am action. That is the new me. Those are the new beliefs that I have instilled inside myself. And, again, it's really hard to explain in words just how profound and just transformational this experience was. It was just the most physically demanding and uncomfortable thing I've ever done. But through that total immersion and that total conditioning, you in just 4 days, you come out a completely different person. What was affecting you before and what was controlling your life is no longer there, because Tony Robbins and Unleash the Power Within, it taught us, it really taught us how to be the master of our mind and really be able to just live and be this better person and be this much more positive influence, and to allow us to no longer let these negative things affect us, give us this absolute clarity, this absolute certainty, and just move through things at a pace and at a level we've never been able to before. And so, and I'm sure I'm really sorry. I really want to cover just so much more stuff. It's just there's so many things. So day 4 was all about nutrition and exercise and other techniques for changing our posture. And throughout all this, there was also meditation exercises. So priming exercises, things that you do when you first get up in the morning to get your body into that peak state and to bring in this gratitude and to always just feel, no matter what's going on, always feel this gratitude and just this oneness with everything. And I've done meditation since I was 17. And some of the things we did, I've never ever felt a level of peace and just oneness in my entire life until this experience. And we also, from a business perspective, I learned a lot of great things that are going to help me help others. So now I know what it is that's causing people to not take action, to not do things, and what's really controlling them. I know what the 6 human needs are. I know that I know all these things, and so it's and by knowing these things and knowing what affects them and what their main needs are, I can better help other people. I can better communicate with other people. And when I'm in this peak state and in this better state, people are much more receptive. And one of the brilliant things from a business perspective at Unleash the Power Within was seeing how Tony and his team sell people and how they upsell people to these other programs. And the simple fact is, when people are in a peak state, when you help rise people up, they are significantly more likely to take action. And on it was either, I think it was Friday, this one guy talked, Mike Melio, and it was the best fucking sales presentation I have ever seen before in my life. And it's because he was just incredibly authentic, and he just told his story. He was just super honest, and his results were undeniable. So from a business perspective, if you can help rise people up, if you can help bring them to a higher state, they will be much more likely to do business with you. And so day 4 was all about nutrition and exercise and things like that. And I have not, and this is crazy, I have not eaten meat in the past 4 days. Which is really weird to hear me say, because I've been like the biggest meat eater there is. And again, it just comes down to us now being the master of our thoughts and our feelings, and just whatever changes and whatever we want to do, we can just do it. We don't have anything holding us back. Now, the reality is, there's still this fear. There's still this uncertainty, like, oh, these thoughts still come up, but we can see them. We can experience them, but we don't attach emotion and feeling to them. The only emotion and feeling we attach to it is what we are attaching ourselves, and we just change this focus. So day 4 was just a lot of it's mostly straightforward stuff. If you've looked into eating better, being more healthy, and maybe you do some things now, it's pretty basic stuff. Eating more fruits and vegetables and all of these things, and maybe you don't need to be eating so much protein and all of this stuff. Of course, everyone's different, but basically eating a more plant-based diet. And for me, the thing that kept me from transitioning into this different diet is just it's cool to help the environment and stuff, but what changed this thinking for me is that by eating this certain way, by having this certain diet and eating more of things that have a lot of water and are more plant-based, it allows me to better stay in this peak state. And, just the past several days alone, I have but I've felt and experienced just how much better I feel, and just how much better I can do things by eating this certain way. So, that was basically the long story short of Unleash the Power Within. All this stuff, all the knowledge that I'll be sharing, all the knowledge that I shared in this, and all of the knowledge that I'll be sharing, in the coming months and years, without the proper context, it's honestly not going to have that much of an impact. The only way to really get the proper context is to experience Unleash the Power Within yourself. And I urge you, there is an Unleash the Power Within coming up in Los Angeles towards the end of March next year, March 2017. I can't tell you how important it is that you attend this, either coming up soon or sometime in your life. And I'll even go as far out there to basically offer this crazy guarantee, or whatever you want to call it. If you go and you don't feel that you've changed, that if you don't feel that you've made some really profound breakthroughs, I will pay you $500 out of my own pocket. You can record that, you can keep that. I absolutely mean that. It's just, again, it's really hard to explain in words. So, unleash the power within, the most uncomfortable, most physically demanding, just crazy thing I've ever done. But had I not done it, I can't even think about it, because the changes are just so profound and powerful. And throughout all of this we learn, it comes down, it's all about taking massive action. So we can learn all these things. We can spend 4 days in this total immersion, just dancing and clapping and screaming and saying yes and making our move and all this stuff. But if we're not taking action with what we've learned, with this conditioning, it doesn't fucking matter. It absolutely does not matter. So Unleash the Power Within was all about thinking a certain way, believing a certain way, and acting and living in this better state, so we can just plow through anything that is in our path and just better accomplish what it is we fucking want. So that gets me to the portion of this. So Tony Robbins, dog knocked over something. He came out with this book last year, Money Master the Game. Like I said in the beginning, as far as investing goes, this is an awesome book, especially if you're like a complete noob. This will help you really learn some things and get some things going. So I'm going to be giving this exact copy here away. So to win this copy of Money Master the Game, all you have to do, and you better be listening, all you have to do is email Michael J. Stinger, Stenger, @gmail.com, all lowercase, with the subject line in all caps, yes. Email michaeljstinger @gmail.com with the subject line in all caps, yes. And so the first person that emails me will get the copy of this book. If you are the first person, I will reply back to you to get your address, and I will mail this thing out ASAP. So, yeah, that was Unleash the Power Within. I really thank you for tuning in, and I really I can't say enough good things about Unleash the Power Within, and I'm just incredibly happy and grateful for having this just absolutely amazing experience, and I'm really excited, more so than ever before, of just moving forward and just building this just amazing future. So anyways, hope you're doing awesome, and have a great rest of your pre-Friday, and I will see you around on the Facebooks. See ya.